ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजाः पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Today we're going to talk about, while we're in Sundara Kanda, we're going to talk about whether dreams can come true. Many of us have varieties of dreams, some pleasing, some just ordinary, some very jumbled, some very scary, and some very fearful, which we call nightmares, not so much dreams, but they're all dreams. And the question is whether or not there is validity and whether dreams come true. Now, there is a whole other thing about what is the meaning of the dreams and all that. So this is not about interpreting dreams, because I'm not an expert at it at all. But we're just going to talk about the varieties. I know for me, I've never gotten like these spiritually enlightening dreams. My dreams are all to do with violence and blood and mayhem and, almost not fearful, but persecution. And that's for years and years and years I had suffered from that. Until I started studying Ramayana. And from then, over time, they have reduced to pretty much very rarely now. So I attribute, a clearing to the study of Srimad Ramayana for me. But where we are is in Lanka. Now, depending on where we are actually supposed to be seeing through the eyes of Sri Hanumanji. So for now, we can assume we are all sitting on the branch of the Shimshupa tree and looking down with the same or from the same vantage as Hanumanji, if you like. Or we can all be spectators or audience and watching Ramayana on a movie screen where we are sitting far away as spectators. There is a tree, there is Hanumanji, and there is Sita Devi and Ravana and all of them. So whatever is comfortable to any one of us, we can see from that vantage. But Valmiki is the person who is moving the camera, if you will, from one character to another, from one scene to another scene. And as we've been discussing, Ravana has threatened Sita Devi with a deadline of 2 months, that within 2 months, if she does not agree to accept him as her husband, of course, the language is even more, uh, even cruder in Ravana's words. He says, Shayana Arohanam, that she doesn't ascend his bed. Then he will have his followers serve him for his breakfast. So if he can't get her one way, he will get her another way. He will have the satisfaction of eating her meat. And then he asked these Rakshasis, hundreds of them, to somehow or the other, Yena Kenava, one way or another, convince her to accept his proposal, threat, warning, deadline, ultimatum. And so they have been trying their best. And finally, when she has not acquiesced at all, they are so frustrated that they are licking their lips, telling her, we will eat you up right now. We won't even wait for 2 months. And we know that Ravana will not be upset, because he will say, yeah, good, well done. Good riddance to that Sita. And we heard last week how Sita Devi was swooning from a storyline in the sadness or shoka of being separated from her husband in Lanka. From a dharma perspective, we saw how the chastity of a wife is her greatest protection. For that matter, chastity of the husband as well, but chastity for the partner. And she refers to the great couples in the universe and takes strength from them. From a tattva perspective, we saw the same thing as how a living entity, the jiva, sitting in this Lanka, threatened by the mind, Ravana, and constantly being poked and harassed by the Indriyas, the Rakshasis, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin, the genitals, the hands, the legs, etc. The all varieties of Vishayis or Vishayas, sense objects. And within that, she has remained determined, giving us an example that a yogi says very firmly no to Maya and yes to Sri Ramachandra. And at that time, in all of this commotion where Sita Devi is pitiably crying, there is a whole chapter that further describes all that Sita Devi said. So I'm going to quickly go through it, but we come to what happens after that. I mean, it is from a rasa perspective, which we didn't do. From a rasa perspective, these are all very intense, heightened symptoms of vipralambha, love in separation between Sita and Rama. So this is the Leela aspect. And we gave a verse for us as homework to go through and identify which of those 10 symptoms that Rupa Goswami has given are manifest in Sita Devi. So to help with that homework or meditation and the joy of discovery, I'm going to add a few more here, and let's see if it inspires you. I've been for the whole week, every day, reciting that beautiful verse that we talked about. Tam Padmadala Patraksham Simha Vikrantagaminam Dhanyaha Pashyanti Me Natha Kritagyam Priyavadinam. And we went through different meanings of it. So here, let me add a little bit more. Actually, I was going to say this in the end. Maybe I'll come back in the end and say this, because there is a Sanskrit saying, that one should end with something sweet. So when we are eating, the Sanskrit says madhurena samapayet. One should end with something that is sweet. So we will come and end with the meaning of further meanings of this verse at the end. So I changed my mind. So here's how chapter 26 begins. Listen to the words because they were there in Rupa Goswami's as well. Unmatteva pramatteva bhranta chitta eva soshati upavritta kishori iva viveshtanti mahitale. Viveshtanti. Viveshtanti. Veshtanti means to roll. We've all heard that in certain languages, the lungi that we wear is called veshti. It's called veshti because it is something that is wrapped around or rolled around us. So viveshtanti means she was rolling on where? Mahitale, on the ground. Now, poetically is beautiful. Figuratively, she is the daughter of Bhumi Devi. So in the stage of pain, she is wanting the embrace of her mother, Bhumi Devi. So she's rolling on the ground. But what is her condition? Unmatteva, completely bewildered. The bewilderment is that, oh my gosh, what is it that I have done for which I am in this condition? Pramatteva, intoxicated. Now, the intoxication generally or madness of it is based on circumstance, when one is not able to handle the circumstances. That's one way of thinking of pramatta. Because this is Sita Devi and she is experiencing the highest forms of vipralambha, this pramatta, this intoxication is out of love. And bhranta chitta. Bhranta is like completely mind going to all sorts of places. Yet shochati, she is in complete distress. And in that condition, she is telling the Rakshasis. Kishori Iva. Kishori Iva, of course, Kishori means a young damsel. So there is the hint of love there. Young damsel, Kishori. Many of us on this call or otherwise have Kishore Kishori as our worshipable deities, where Radha and Krishna are called Kishora and Kishori, meaning young teenagers. And teenagers have the greatest sense of love because it is heightened at that phase of life. However, the another meaning of the word Kishori means a young female horse. So young female horse means doesn't have much strength to stand on its own and doesn't have the balance yet. So now we are going to see how this unmatta, pramatta, bhranta, chitta, the three types of mattas, if you will, unmatta, pramatta, and bhranta are showing up. Valmiki doesn't just leave it to imagination, he will describe it. She says, when Rama, on my request and behest, went after that golden deer, and I was loudly shouting, "Oh Rama, where are you? Lakshmana, where are you?" This Ravana changed his form and dragged me out of this beautiful place that we were in, Panchavati. And now I've fallen under this influence of all these demonesses, and I'm being threatened by all of them. I am so worried that I don't know if I should continue living because I don't want to. I can't die. And in the absence of this great warrior, Sri Ramachandra, what is the use of living in the middle of all of this distress? Some people think, oh, I have some distress, but at least I have some money. I can spend it and see if I can buy happiness. So she says, I don't have any ornaments. I don't have any jewelry. Everything I've given up. And the fact that I'm not dying means my heart must be made out of stone. And this heart is so hard that even with so much grief, I'm not dying. Tad ashmasaram. Ashma means stone. My heart is stone-like. So Bhagavatam says, only a heart that is stone-like will not cry at the utterance of the holy name of Sri Krishna. And she says, I am somehow preserving this very sinful life even when I'm separated from Rama. Actually, I should die. Just by being separated. Who died? Dasharat Maharaj. As soon as Ramachandra left Ayodhya, he died. And she's saying, although she doesn't know that Dasharatha has died, but that I haven't died yet, that means my heart is made of stone. Horrible life. I have no loyalty to Sri Ramachandra. How can I have any zest for life? How can I even be living? And how can I look around me and have any kind of pleasure without Sri Ramachandra's company? But where is he? On the other side of the ocean, this vast ocean. I have decided I will give up my life. Oh, Rakshasis, you know what? You want to eat me? I'm willing to give up my life. You can break me into pieces. You can tear me up. You can eat me up as you wish. But I cannot bear separation from Sri Ramachandra. And guess what? I will not only will I not look at Ravana, I will not touch him with my left foot also. Apparently, something inauspicious or dirty can be kicked or touched with the left foot. So she says, Ravana, I will not even touch him with my left foot. He's so vile and horrendous. Even if you cut me, you put me in fire, you threaten me with anything, I will not accept Ravana. And why are you shouting, threatening me? I want you to know that my heart is given to Sri Ramachandra, who is renowned, who is wise, who is very grateful and extremely kind, which is a hint that Ravana is none of this. But it's my misfortune that I'm here. There's no doubt of it. That Ramachandra single-handedly finished 14,000 demons. But he has not come here to protect me, and I wonder why. I know he's very capable of killing this Ravana in battle. Ravana is nothing in front of him. That Ramachandra who killed Viradha, that fantastic demon Viradha, in the Dandaka forest, has not come to rescue me. Oh, he will kill Viradha, but he will not come to rescue me. This Lanka is in the middle of such a vast ocean. I'm far away on this island. And what is it Is there anything in this universe that can resist the power of Rama's arrow? So what is the reason that my loving husband Sri Ramachandra, who's so powerful, has not yet reached this Lanka? Does the older brother of Lakshmana, maybe he doesn't know that I'm here? Or he knows and maybe he's still tolerating all of this. Although from my side, when I look at it, it is so torturous. But maybe Ramachandra doesn't think it is so torturous. You see the line of ways in which sometimes people think, when I am suffering so much, why is the Lord not intervening in my life? How much more should I suffer before he will intervene? Does he even think of me? This is called Bhranta Chitta. Pramatteva Bhranta Chitta Eva. Even Jatayu knows that Ravana took me. Jatayu must have informed Ramachandra. But maybe he didn't, because Ravana cut off his wings and his feet and maimed him, and there was so much bloodshed. Perhaps Jatayu died before Ramachandra even reached Jatayu. So this Bhranta Chitta is considering one situation, then thinking about the opposite, and having this side of perspective, having perspective from that side. You know, that Jatayu actually tried to help me, but Ravana killed him. Only if that great Raghava knew that I was here, maybe he would come immediately and free me. Maybe he doesn't know where I am. Had Ramachandra known that I am in Lanka, he would have completely blown up this place. He would have dried up the ocean, destroyed all of the Rakshasas, because he is such a capable person. Only if Lakshmana and Rama were to come here, only then it is possible that I will be freed from this harassment of the Rakshasis, all of you. And then Sita Devi has a prophetic statement. Chita dhuma kulapatha gridhra mandala shankula achirena tulankeyam smashanas drashi bhavet. Very soon, achirena, very soon, Lanka, this Lanka will be a graveyard. Smashana drashi. It will look just like a graveyard, a cemetery, where there are burning of bodies all over the place. And the visual is Chita Dhuma Kulapatha. Chita Dhuma Kula means there will be bodies burning everywhere. And smoke will be billowing from those burning of the different bodies. And in the sky, there will be vultures roaming around. Gridha Mandala. Gridha is vulture. Mandala means collection or group. Gridha Mandala Shankula. Shankula is a chain, or one after the other. There will be vultures moving in circles. Some say it was Sita Devi's curse on Lanka. Some say it is a prophetic statement of a great personality. The question would arise, why would Sita curse? The same question would be, why would Narada Muni curse? Why would the great sages curse certain persons? And the simple answer is, the curse is a very strong way of very quickly removing the obstacle for the other person that is holding them back from being at least a good person. let alone being a spiritualist or let alone being enlightened. The curse is a way to shake them up and remove or make them look at their condition and perhaps change themselves. When Narada Muni cursed Nalakuvera and Manigriva, the curse was for their benefit. So then she tells the Rakshasis that all that I'm seeing is only your bad luck. And as far as my desire to be united with Ramachandra is concerned, it will happen very soon. I see inauspicious signs for Lanka. In a very, very short time, this entire city will lose all of its splendor. You may think that Lanka is formidable, inaccessible, unassailable, but all of this is going to go away, and that Ravana demon will die. Now, and she continues. And then she says a beautiful verse. This is a principle about how sometimes in this world friendship works. She says, Drishyamane bhavet priti. Sauhridam nashta, sauhridam nasti apashyatah. That's the principle. That people are friendly with those that they can see. That means they're near each other. But someone goes far away, then that friendship begins to wither because the interactions become fewer. Sauhridam na asti apashyatah. So, as they say, what's that? When you don't see somebody, you forget about them. Nashyanti kritagnastu naramo nashayisyati. So this kind of friendship that only exists when you are close to each other physically, and then when you're gone far away, the friendship withers. She says, Kritagnastu. That is the way ungrateful people operate. Because they destroy love and friendship, meaning they can't hold it together. Na Ramo Nashayishyati. But Ramachandra is not like that. He can be, however, far, or someone can be very close to him. Yet, the affection Ramachandra holds for them is very, very intense. While she is thinking about her plight, she's also thinking about the great persons who also are in similar conditions or were in similar conditions. She doesn't give a list, but we are supposed to meditate on such persons. She says, Priyat na sambhave dukham apriya adhikam bhayam. Tabhyam hi ye viyujyante namastesham mahatmanam. So she says, Namaste. I offer my obeisances. Tesham, unto all those persons who priyam sambhaved dukkham and apriyam adhikam bhayam, who have separated themselves from those situations, circumstances, things that give a sense of pleasure. Priyam sambhavet na sambhavet. They don't associate themselves with things and that are pleasing. And apriyad adhikam bhayam na. So they also separate themselves from those things that are fear causing. In a simpler way, they separate themselves from anything that is Priya and Apriya. There in the Bhagavad Gita, we hear Krishna says, they don't favor something pleasurable, they don't disfavor something unpleasurable. They've cut themselves out of all of it. And the reason being because pleasing things supposedly bring pleasure, and displeasing things bring suffering. So people are scared either way, or they're attracted one way or the other. They want to be drawn towards pleasing things, and they abhor and are disgusted by displeasing things. But as far as sthita pragyas are concerned, they don't care for this, they don't care for that. So she says, for such persons, namaste tesham mahatmana. Those are the great persons. When one is going through distress, it is very easy, and it is also very natural to think about or be absorbed by one's own circumstances and suffering and pain, etc. Great persons, or the call to action for spiritualists, we're all aspiring spiritualists, is to take the attention to the life of great persons. It gives context, it gives reference, and it gives empowerment of how they dealt with difficult circumstances. When we think of the suffering and the atrocity that Prahlad Maharaj went through, or the atrocity that Sita Devi is going through, or the difficulty any of the personalities in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, they have gone through, it gives a sense of context, relevance, inspiration, magnitude of our suffering, etc. It brings it all into perspective. With that, she says, separated from Sri Ramachandra, I want to free myself of the clutches of Ravana, and therefore I will give up my life. Now, it's not so easy to give up one's life. When the demonesses heard what Sita Devi was saying, they became even angrier. Some of them ran to inform Ravana. In Hindi, we call it chugli. That, oh, did you hear what Sita is saying? So they were very quickly, some of them darted away. Some of them came closer to Sita to increase the threat level from yellow to orange to red. And they started threatening her even more. They said, oh, you horrible Sita, you don't even have good ways of living. We will. They called her Papa Vinishchaya, that you have determined to live a life of sin. What is the life of sin? That you're not accepting Ravana's proposal. Instead, you want to go with that Rama. Ha! Sinful. And for this, all of us Rakshasis will eat away your flesh to our heart's content. At that time, one Rakshasi called Trijata. Trijata means has three braids. She's a little older, Vridha. She's older among all of them, or oldest among all of them. And she had just awakened from her sleep. So the verse Valmiki tells us is, Sitan Tabhir Anaryab. When all of these these demonesses were threatening Sita, Santarjitan means they were all threatening and harassing her. Rakshasi Trijata Vridha Shayana Vakyam Abravit. She had just woken up from her sleep with all this commotion going on. And she said, oh, all of you Rakshasis, you're all making a very big mistake. In fact, I would not recommend, or I would recommend that you not harass the favorite daughter of Janaka, Sita Devi, the daughter-in-law of Dasharatha. Just now I woke up from a dream. And in that dream was so intense that my hair is standing on end. Roma harshanaha daruno drashto maya hi adya, right now, swapno. I saw a dream that was so intense that my hair is standing on end. So one may think, oh, she's saying daruna swapna. It must be a nightmare. And that's why her hair is all bristled. No, her hair is all bristled because she saw something fantastic. So the demonesses are interested. What did she see? They are saying, oh, Trijata, kathayasva tvaya drashtah swapno. What did you see? We are interested to know. Please tell us. She says, I saw Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana wearing white, pure clothes and wearing fragrant, beautiful white garlands. They were ascending into a palanquin that was made of exquisite ivory. So that is also white. And that palanquin was drawn by thousands of white swans. And they were traversing through the sky. I also saw Sita, this Sita, wearing white robes, sitting on a white mountain surrounded by the ocean. And just as sunlight and sun are united, I saw Sita being united with Sri Rama. I saw Rama and Lakshmana riding a huge mountain-like elephant that had 4 tusks. They were all dressed in white garlands, white clothes. The 2 brothers, they looked like tigers among men. And they were so glowing in their effulgence, and that's how they approached Janaki. And from the mountain peak, they received Sita and made her sit on the elephant that they were sitting on. And so Sita then sat on Sri Ramachandra's lap, and with her palms, she was lovingly caressing the sun and the moon. That excellent white elephant came to Lanka. And then they were sitting on a chariot that was yoked with 8 white oxen. So ox is the male of the cow and bull, but one that has been castrated. So they're very, very strong. They're used for plowing the fields. And these 3, Rama, Sita, Rama, and Lakshmana, were being drawn by the chariot in the northern direction, which means they were going back to Ayodhya. And this everything was in the Pushpaka Vimana. That Pushpaka Vimana is taking them in the northern direction. Now, northern direction means Ayodhya. It also means transcendental or heavenly side. I saw in my dream that Ramachandra is none other than Lord Vishnu, accompanied by his brother Lakshmana. Now, just as a sinner cannot attain heaven, Rama cannot be attained even by the gods or even demons, what to speak of Rakshasas. But I also saw Ravana lying down on the ground, smeared with oil. He was wearing red clothes and wearing a garland of lilies, and he was completely intoxicated. Then I also saw in another dream Ravana's head was completely shaved. He was wearing black clothes. He was fallen on the ground. He had fallen from the Pushpaka Vimana, and his chariot was dragged, and he was being dragged on the floor by a woman. He was wearing red garlands. His body was smeared with all sorts of uh, oil and nothing fragrant or anything. He was drinking, he was laughing, he was crying. His mind and senses were completely perplexed. And then he was riding on a chariot that was being driven by donkeys. And that chariot was moving in the southern direction. Generally, southern direction means direction of Yamaraja's abode. And his head was bent in shame. Ravana was completely scared, confused, bewildered, and he had almost gone insane. He was naked and uttering all words of abuse. He was rolling and plunged in a pool of stool and urine, and everything was foul smelling. I also saw Kumbhakarna in the same situation, and all of Ravana's sons also in the same situation. Then I saw Ravana sitting on a boar, Indrajit sitting on a crocodile or being driven by crocodile, and Kumbhakarna sitting on a camel, all going in the southerly direction. Only Vibhishana was under a white umbrella, clad in white clothes, white garlands, and body smeared with sandalwood paste. The white umbrella means that Vibhishana will become king. And there were sounds of conches, drums, musicians, dancers, and Vibhishana was climbing or ascending on an elephant that also had 4 tusks. And this elephant looked as big as a mountain and was trumpeting like a cloud, rumbling cloud. And Vibhishana was standing there with 4 ministers. And so this whole thing was so delightful to see. Lanka, on the one hand, although it's my favorite city, I saw this Lanka that was protected by Ravana completely burned to ashes by a monkey. Lanka drashta maya swapne Ravanena abhirakshati dagdha ramasya dutena vanarena tarasvina. I saw in a dream that Ramachandra's messenger, a Vanara, had completely burnt Lanka. All of Lanka was in a completely devastated case. And all the Kumbhakarna and the other demon leaders, that they were fallen into a pool of cow dung. So all of you, step back. I do not approve of you harassing Sita. Even Ramachandra will not approve of any of you harassing this wonderful Sita Devi. So now that you've been threatening her, I want you to stop. Look at her condition. It is so pitiable. How do you have the heart of harassing her? And I also see that very soon Sita Devi will be liberated from this horrible condition. And then she says, look, Sita's left eye, which is like a lotus petal, both eyes are like lotus petal, but the left one is twitching. So it is a good sign. I also noticed that Sita Devi's left shoulder is also throbbing, and she might be feeling a little happy. Her left thigh is also trembling. So it is said in the Shakuna Shastra that for a woman When the left side of the body twitches, it's a good sign. For the man, when the right side twitches, it's a good sign. When it's the other way, it is a bad sign. So Ramayana is a Shastra that has 18 different elements in it. And one among them is Shakuna Shastra, that is seeing signs or omens within nature, whether it is birds or animals. Now we call it superstition, that a black cat crossed my path, or a buffalo went this way, or a cow went that way. But these are all symptoms of a valid science, and that science over time, obviously, with Kali Yuga, it has gone completely awry, but it is a very valid science. In fact, when Sita Devi had been kidnapped, Ramachandra and Lakshmana were searching all over the forest. They could not find her. They looked to deer and birds to give them hints. So yeah, with that. Now, this kind of dream, one may consider, hey, will my dreams come true? My take on it is, I don't think we want all our dreams to come true, because especially the kind of dreams I have, I don't want them to come true. There's a difference between dream and aspiration. Generally, we use them as synonyms. Oh, that was my dream, it has come true. Actually, it's an aspiration that we call as a dream. Oh, so the American dream. That's why people come to America, myself included. And there's a joke, oh, you had the American dream, excellent, but now you're awake, which means that is not a reality. The showy, the fantastic thing about America may not be the case. So aspirations sometimes are termed as dreams, but dreams are those things that involuntarily manifest. So Srila Prabhupada says that dreams manifest because of the condition of the mind. And the mind is an element that takes in, it's like a camera that takes all these input pictures and then interprets them based on the refinement of consciousness and gives back a picture. So Prabhupada said, you may have seen gold, you may have seen mountain in the mind, it mixes up and shows you a golden mountain. So those are how the mind operates, because when one is sleeping, the physical senses are resting, but the mind is active, even in sleep. Unless one goes to Sushupti stage where one is not aware that one is dreaming, there's no such, even the mind is resting. That's rare. Otherwise, we say REM, rapid eye movement, the mind is busy. We're dreaming. Those are all based on the quality of the mind and all the impressions that are in the mind. Then there is another kind of dream, which we call vision. Great personalities get these visions in their dreams, as they say. In the Ramaraksha Stotra, the entire Stotra has been written down by Buddha Kaushika Rishi, because Lord Shiva appeared in a dream and gave it to him. Adishtavan, so Adishta means instructed. Adishtavan yatha swapne Ramaraksham idam stotram haram. Hara, Lord Shiva gave it to me. Imam haraha tatha likhitavan prataha. So as soon as I woke up in the morning, likhitavan, it was written down by Buddha Kaushika Rishi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed so many of his followers in his dreams, etc., etc. There's one episode where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a great acharya within the Gaudiya line, Gaudiya Vaishnava line. There are millions of examples. I'm just picking this because I read it recently. He had read Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in that, in a particular verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that the Kama Gayatri has 24 and a half syllables. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, after years and years of research, couldn't fathom how there are 24 and a half syllables, because there are 24. He has counted them again and again and again, and there are 24 syllables. But he doesn't know how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said that there are 24 and a half. So he was praying to Srimati Radharani to reveal the truth to him. And in his sleep, while one day he was asleep, in his dream, Srimati Radharani appeared and told him, what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said is true. I inspired him to write so. And for you, and she named that particular scripture, in such and such book, there is a reference of how it is 24 and a half syllables. The word ya, or the syllable ya, is considered half a syllable. I'm saying 24 and a half, or maybe it's 23 and a half. I can't remember right now, so don't quote me on it. I would ask you to refer to Chaitanya Charitamrita. But she says that ya in that mantra is half a syllable that refers to her. And so he woke up and his entire research became successful. So like this, in dreams or visions, some spiritual truths are revealed. Otherwise, they are a mixture of the different projections of the mind and the state of consciousness that one is dealing with at that point in time. Yet, Trijata had this fascinating dream. She saw Rama, Lakshmana, Sita in Pushpaka Vimana traveling northward. So that's the beautiful, beautiful dream she had. And I promised you we'll end with Madhurena Samapayet. So here's that verse that we've been talking about. That has been inspiring for me. Okay, let's see. Sita Devi. Padmadala Patraksha. Oh, there it is. Tam Padmadala Patraksha Simha Vikranta Gaminam Dhanyaha Pashyanti Me Natham Kritagyam Priyavadinam. So we went through almost 9 meanings or 9 explanations of the different words to it. Here's more. You see in the verse, she speaks about Kritagyam, Priyavadinam, and Simha Vikranta Gaminam. So Kritagyam refers to his mind. Priyavadinam refers to his speech. And Simha Vikranta Gaminam refers to his actions or activity. A person is complete and thorough when their mind, words, and deeds are glorious. Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. So Sri Ramachandra is such a person that his mind, his words, and his actions inspire a higher character in everyone. Because his mind is filled with gratitude. That's the most important feature for a person to carry. Now, he is the supreme person, the Lord of all lords. And it is in fact it is in everyone's best interest to serve Sri Ramachandra. Nate viduhu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. Actually, in serving Vishnu, it is one's own selfish interest, in one's best interest. But Ramachandra doesn't feel entitled. Oh, you're serving me, it's actually for your good. He never feels like that. That's so anyone who serves him, although they are benefited, Ramachandra takes it as a great gesture or favor upon him. Now, if someone says, I don't want to serve Sri Ramachandra, because of that, he doesn't feel incomplete in any way. For example, if in a company, all the employees quit, then the owner or the leader may feel very incomplete because nothing can get done. For Ramachandra is complete, whether someone serves him or not. And even when they serve him, he doesn't think that, oh, I'm entitled to it. Nothing. Kritagyam. Now, when one expresses some service, he becomes very, very grateful and he remembers it. He remembers even the slightest service that is offered to him, perhaps even unintentionally. But he accepts that as service. Now, because his heart is grateful, only a grateful person can speak pleasingly. Therefore, his words are priyavadinam. Ungrateful persons will complain, blame, or even punish with their words. Grateful persons put words to how their heart feels. In fact, everyone puts words to their heart, how their heart feels. So their heart feels pain, anger, sorrow, distress. The words are also like that, painful, sorrowful, distressful. Because Ramachandra's heart is grateful, his words are always pleasing. Priyavadina. So one may say, oh, okay, he's always grateful, all this, he's always speaking. Is he going to be my Lord? Can he help me cross over my difficulties? Is he a softy? Like this mushy, softy person who actually cannot be strong enough to help me cross over my difficulties? No. Simha Vikranta Gaminam. Not at all. He fiercely protects dharma and anyone who is dharmic. That is the nature of his gratitude, that he is always there as a fierce lion to protect his devotees. Simha Vikranta Gaminam. And by his such stature, he inspires confidence in all of his followers in such a way that they can also, like a lion, completely discard anything that is alluring them away from him. They can shun it. This is nothing, no value. We don't give any value to anything that is not connected to Sri Ramachandra. And they themselves are confident that my shelter, my safety, everything is coming from him. So the phrase we are all used to is Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. And Ramachandra is like a lion. He does not need to flatter anybody for his subsistence. Generally, in life, when you're nice to others, you say that, oh, in our time of need, they will be nice to us. So other people are flattering or almost like sycophants so that they are liked by others. Ramachandra is not like that. His character itself commands respect. Oh, and then Padma Dala Patraksham. His eyes are wide open like the petal of a lotus. Why? So Ramachandra can see far. Not only can he see far, but he can see every minute detail. So we may think, oh, I'm so far away from Sri Ramachandra. I'm so far away. How is it possible for Sri Ramachandra to see me? Well, one may be very far away from him, but he notices everything. His eyes are wide out of love for his devotees. You've seen Lord Jagannath's eyes? Big, round. The reason being, the bigness is out of ecstasy to see his devotees. And his eyes are big because they're always filled with compassion. They're open. A person who's not compassionate may close their eyes. They don't want to see anyone. Ramachandra's eyes are open because he easily heartily, lovingly glances compassionately on all the living entities, whether they're favorable to him or unfavorable to him. Even Ravana is going to get so much grace from Sri Ramachandra, whether he likes it or not, whether he wants it or not. And that is what Sita Devi is meditating on. Oh, I went long today. Actually, I was going to announce today will be a short class, but sorry. Any quick questions, comments? We can take two maybe and then end. I hope all of you are not Mattena, Pramatena, Bhranta Chitta from this.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Radha Dasi here.
Yes, very good.
Hare Bol Prabhu, little, I was a little confused. What I heard was that you said that Sita Devi doesn't know that Maharaj Dashrath has left his body. I haven't heard those classes yet, but from whatever little I know from Tulsi Ramayana, that when Bharat comes and then all the four brothers actually
Yes.
they perform
Yes,
the
yes.
samskara.
You're right. My mistake. You're right. Thank you for catching that. She knows. That is right. I was trying to remember where in the episode has. Thank you. Thank you for catching that. My error. They know when Bharata comes, he is the one who informs that Dashrath Maharaj is no more. You're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good catch. I'm so glad you caught it. Anything else? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I was just appreciating the way you took us through the journey of dreams of conditioned souls versus the dreams of like great personalities. I was just appreciating the different ways you described just the word dream, and then you went through different people having different dreams, and then differentiated the difference between like a conditioned soul's dream versus how a pure devotee or a realized soul dreams are different. So just appreciating that. Thank you.
Thank you. Trijata is a very pious soul. Some commentators say that she is the daughter of Vibhishana. So that's great. She took Sita Devi's association very well. When we talk next time, there is another episode where Trijata will come back and speak to Sita Devi. We'll talk more at that time. Okay. Until next week, let's see what all we dream. Hopefully we dream something refined, higher. Hopefully we can see Sita Rama and Lakshmana on a white elephant with 4 tusks moving in the northerly direction. And hopefully we are also somewhere as their servants moving there. Whether we have these dreams or not, our aspiration is not, that I have to have such a dream. Our aspiration is that if I have the great fortune that when I wake up, if I have the fortune to wake up alive and not die in my sleep, that when I wake up, I try to remember and use the hours of my waking time in service to this beautiful Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, Hanumanji, and all of their associates. So thank you. Until we meet again. Shri Shri Sita, Rama, Lakshman, Hanumanji ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.